If you want to tap into your true potential as an athlete, then you need to use some form of mental preparation. The best athletes in the world mentally prepare themselves for upcoming competitions. In today's video, I'm going to give you the exact things you need to do in order to make sure that your mental prep is bang on. Hey everyone, my name is Matt Calderoni, co-founder of Molliteum, where we help athletes discover and reach their true potential by building their resilience. Since 2015, we've helped just over 5,300 athletes, ranging from the youth to the professional level. And the reason we started this YouTube channel is because I used to be a pro athlete and I never was really able to tap into this side of performance, and it held me back. So we're not gonna let you do the same. Now, if you've gotten any value from this channel before, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, share this video. It helps the channel grow, and more importantly, it allows us to keep bringing you more free content. Now, this week's episode was actually inspired by one of the pro athletes that we work with in the NBA. And he came to us with a problem when he originally started working with us about hitting better three balls, right? Being able to pull up, hit those threes, and be able to sink them. And when he came to us, he comes to us and he goes, Matt, I don't feel the way I used to feel when I'm hitting my threes. He's like, I'm doing everything I need to do. I'm going through the motions in practice, but I'm not feeling that way. I said, so what did you used to feel like? He goes, well, I used to be able to pull up, and when I pulled up, I knew I was gonna hit it. I walked in there almost knowing, no matter what, that I could hit a three ball. If there was somebody in my face, if there wasn't, if I was wide open, if I was on my back foot, if I was on my fadeaway, regardless of what it was, I knew I could hit it. And he said, I lost that feeling. I said, so tell me something. What was that feeling you're chasing? And he goes, Matt, I was sure of myself. And that's exactly where this whole mental prep side started, because we looked at it and we said, well, you technically are doing all the things that you need to do right, but the way you do them, the way you get yourself into that headspace is going to be the difference maker in this all. So when we were able to break it down, we helped him go through these same principles that we're about to go through with you now, and we got him hitting those three balls, and still today, it's one of the strongest points of his game. So let's dive into understanding exactly what this whole thing on mental prep is and how we can utilize it the right way. Now, in the most basic definition, mental prep is simply preparing yourself mentally for upcoming performances. What we say at Molliteum, though, to go a little deeper on that, is we say it's being able to walk into a performance excited, sure of yourself, and focused so that you're able to dominate the task at hand. Now, here's the crazy part, and this is the thing that you can kind of hear from the story. A lot of people call this the zone, right? Which totally, there's a real thing, flow state, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of people seem to think that the zone just happens on a game day or a performance day, when in reality, it starts way before that. So we need to understand, if we're really going to mentally prepare you, if we're really going to put you into that mindset, the way we do it with our pro athletes is we actually start this way before game day itself. In fact, it actually starts about a week before, maybe even a couple days, so that you can get yourself fully believing in yourself, so that you are fully confident of what you need to do, so that you can fully trust yourself, and so you can go into performances calm, knowing that you've done the work and you're ready to go execute the task at hand. Think about it for a sec. When I say these words, focused, calm, certain, sure of themselves, you think of some of the best athletes in the world, right? LeBron James, Tom Brady, Serena Williams, whoever it might be. You can easily put that picture together with them. And the reason is this: they're all mentally prepared going into performances. Think, there's that classic clip of LeBron James where he's sitting before a game. He's got his eyes closed and he's like visualizing or meditating, however you want to call it, but he's doing it, right? That's mental preparation. And like the Ohio Center for Sports Psychology shows us, it helps us as athletes with attitude, motivation, target achievement, dealing with people, self-talk, anxiety management, emotional management, and concentration. AKA some of the most important things if you're gonna go into a performance and dominate. Now, see, here's the thing about these, though. That's just the tip of the iceberg, right? That's like the end result. We wanna know how, right here. How do we get there? How are we able to make sure we can manage pressure, make sure our attitude's on point, keep that motivation high regardless of what it is? And that's what we're gonna go through right now. Now, to keep this simple, your mental prep is gonna consist of four things, what we call here the four quadrants of resilience. Number one, commitment, having the ability to know what result you want and committing to it. Number two, there's competence, knowing you have the skills and that you built the skills to be successful with that thing that you want, that result that you want to accomplish. Number three is having the focus to lock in, shut out the noise, and control your emotions so you can go execute it. And then there's number four, the toughness, or having that ability to adapt so that no matter what, you just find a way or make one until you get that result. If you want to make sure that you have the right mental prep down, you need to hit all 4 points of these in your preparation. Now, I know you might be saying, well, Matt, that's a lot of info to take in. Let me help you break it down in a very simple process here, okay? Because these simple things that I'm about to give you, so long as you do them, so long as you stick to this action plan, you'll cover all of them: the commitment, competence, focus, and toughness, okay? So let's dive into it. Here's the Molliteum method. Here's the way that we do things here to make sure that we can get our pro athletes into the zone on game days. So what you have to realize is this: before we get into anything, game days are supposed to be a day that you're enjoying yourself, right? You've done all the hard work throughout the week. You've done everything that you need to do. Now you're going in there and you can just execute. You can kind of show off all the things that you've done. That is literally the mindset of a high performer, right? Work so hard on myself that on game days, I can just go out there and enjoy it. But the problem is this: most athletes don't. So we have to realize game day is not about crushing the competition, whatever. You're gonna do that. Game day is actually about making sure that you're excited, you're sure of yourself, and you're focused so you can go out there and crush it. That is the way that you dominate. Think about it for a second. The best of the best, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, the Tom Brady's, the Serena Williams, whomever, they're not going out there looking like they hate what's going on in front of them. They're going out there looking like they know what they're doing. They're sure of themselves. So I want you to understand, game day is supposed to be enjoyable. Now at Molliteum, we call this preparing to let go. That's the name of this entire process. So what does that mean? That means that we want to prepare in a way throughout the week, so on game days, you can just focus and let go, right? We hear it all the time. Don't think when you play, just go play. But what do most of us do? We go out there and we overthink things over and over and over again. We overanalyze. We don't trust ourselves. So you have to understand, getting into the zone is about preparing yourself so you can let go on game days. Otherwise, what's gonna happen is this: you're gonna walk into game days, you're gonna do some of the work, kind of like our NBA client did at the time. Then coming into game days, it's like, ooh, you know what? I felt good on practice days, but I didn't really feel good on game days. That's what happens. So let's talk about this and break this down from a weekly perspective. So like you can see here on the screen in front of me, during the week before game day, we're gonna say anywhere from 2 to 4 days before a game day, you wanna be focused on building your commitment, meaning that you wanna know the result you're gonna be after in game days, and we'll break this down a little bit later on. You wanna be making sure on raising your competence or your certainty and confidence in yourself, your self-belief. You wanna make sure that you're able to get yourself nice and focused throughout the week, where you're not feeling any more pressure going into game days because you've done the work. And you wanna make sure that you're adding some toughness in there, meaning that you're challenging yourself in some way, shape, or form. So from that 2 to 4 day period before, all you're doing is working on building that certainty, confidence, focus, and adaptability. That's all you're doing. You're challenging yourself, you're focusing on the things you need to do, and you're specifically lasering in on skills that you go put repetition into mentally and physically over and over and over again, so you know coming into game days, you can crush it no matter what. That way, like you can see here on a game day, all you need to do is focus, right? And if you focus, you'll be able to fall back on your prep. And if you know you can fall back on your prep because you've done everything you need to do at game intensity throughout the week, you're gonna enjoy yourself going into game days. Where everybody else is feeling nervous and anxious, you're gonna go in there feeling great. So here's where all the magic lies now in this video. I'm gonna give you simply 2 checklists that you can utilize. One for throughout the week to make sure that you're actually preparing to let go. I'm gonna give you the things you need to do, from mental reps to physical reps, and a prescription for it. And then I'm gonna give you a checklist to do on game days, the exact same pre-performance system that we use with our athletes to make sure they calm themselves down, they focus, and they get excited for game days. Good? Okay, so let's start with this, the prepare to let go checklist. Like you can see here, it's popped up on my screen. Screenshot this. Now let's break these down individually. Number 1, make sure you have a desired outcome for the upcoming game. So a great example of this is in the upcoming game, you want to score a goal. Great. That's your desired outcome. Next, you need to break down your desired outcome into 1 to 2 skills. So for example, if I want to score in a game, then breaking that down to a skill, I need to be really good, really confident this week into being able to finish around the neck. Because here's the secret, all that high performance is, all it really comes down to is making sure that you're sure of the skill that you need to utilize to get the result. The problem is this though, most people just focus on the result and they don't focus on the skills that go into it. So break that outcome down into a skill. So my skill here that I'm gonna break down, if I wanna make sure I'm scoring goals, I need to be very confident finishing around the net. Number 3, you need to visualize this skill 3 to 5 times a week, preferably at night before bed. So I've talked about this in a previous video, I'll link here, on how to actually visualize and how to go through that. I'll put it right to the timestamp. But the truth is this, when you visualize something, you create neuroassociations. When you create neuroassociations, you get that spot now where you're actually training your mind to know what you need to do, and you're building something called certainty. The reason we want you doing this before bed is because your brain goes into a state right before you go to sleep called theta. When you're in a theta state, you're actually hypnotizing yourself in a positive way. If you can visualize before you go to sleep and you sit down and you actually make sure this is the last thing you're really focusing in on before you go to bed, I promise you, it will carry over to the next day. The key to visualization is this: make sure you do 3 sets of 10 repetitions. The first set of 10 reps is to make sure you're visualizing the basic skill. The second set of 10 reps is to make sure you're visualizing the skill with some challenges now. The third set of 10 reps is to make sure you're visualizing the skill in performance and being successful with it. The key though, make sure to do it 3 to 5 times a week. Number 4, you need to work on that skill now for at least 10 minutes a day. Here's the thing. Once you visualize it now, that's gonna build your certainty. You need to build your confidence. Confidence is built through actually physically going through and practicing that skill, but here's the key behind it. You need to make sure when you're actually practicing it, you have a purpose and an intensity. So, what do I mean by that? That means that if I'm gonna take that skill of actually going to be confident in finishing around the net, I can't just go through the motions as if I'm shooting around a pylon. I need to do it with the intensity that it's like a game day, meaning there's more urgency behind it. I'm pretending that there's guys on me, right? I'm pretending that there's players on me. I'm not just taking my time with it, I'm going through it hard. By doing this now and pairing it with the mental reps, you're training your body to say, wow, I've been through this before, I've visualized it, I'm physically practicing it, now I feel good going into games and doing it. Number 5, you need to make sure during practices you're creating what we call a mental environment. Now this goes hand in hand with the last point I just said about intensity with your practice, right? So here's what a mental environment is. That means that when you're practicing, doesn't matter if there's nobody around you, doesn't matter if you're at the field or the rink or wherever alone, you're actually going through it as if there are players on you. You're actually shooting with intensity and urgency like there's players on you. The great Steph Curry talks about this, how in practice he used to pretend there were 2 or 3 players on him and he would shoot the ball that way. He would pull up and shoot with a fadeaway as if there were 2 players in front of him, or as if he just got bumped and shooting on the side. Regardless of what it was though, he created that mental environment in his head during his practices that allowed him to come into game days feeling like he already won the game. He said, I would leave practices feeling like I already won. That's the key for this. You need to create that mental environment during your practices, regardless of how hard your teammates are going. Number 6, you need to watch film 3 times per week for 10 minutes a day of your role models. This is very simple, and again, I'll link the video that we talked about this before, but when you watch your role models, you see how to properly do something. You see the ways that you can innovate your own game. I'm not asking you to become your role models, but what I'm asking you to do is find an individual who's already successful at the trait that you're trying to get better at, that skill, and go watch them for at least 10 minutes a day. You're gonna learn so much about it. For example, if I'm a soccer player who's trying to finish better around the net, I'm gonna go watch somebody like Haaland to see how he's doing what he's doing and seeing how he's finishing. Number 7, you need to have 1 to 2 actionable intentions that you're focused on doing 1 rep at a time. Meaning, you wanna make sure that every time in performance now, it's just 1 rep at a time. You're just doing it over and over and over again. For example, when I go out there, I'm not just gonna be thinking about, oh my gosh, I need to be finishing around the net. No, instead what I'm gonna do is ask myself, what actions allow me to finish around the net? Well, if I'm gonna finish around the net, I need to make sure that I get to the 18-yard box and I'm shooting to score in the corners. Simple, right? That's how I'm gonna finish better around the net. I'm not gonna finish better by shooting right at the goalie. Get to the 18-yard box and shoot it into the corners. It's that simple. Actionable intentions. Okay, now you have your prepare to let go checklist that you're gonna utilize throughout the week. Let's talk quickly about what you wanna do on game day. This is your game day checklist and it's very simple. Number 1, do 1 to 3 rounds of box breathing to get centered and focused. Very simply put, you wanna make sure that you're getting yourself nice and calm. Box breathing is one of the best ways to center yourself. It is scientifically proven. There's so much research on it. We've linked some box breathing down below that you can utilize, that we like to use and that we recommend here at Molliteum. Number 2, call out anything that you're currently focused on that's a distraction or that you cannot control. Very simply put, most athletes go into games worrying about the things they can't control. They're worried about the coach. They're worried about a personal life situation. They're worried about something going on at home. Regardless, you need to take the time right now to see those things, call them out, and realize, oh my gosh, they're not for me to focus on right now. Right now, what I need to do is focus on this game. Just getting aware of it is the first step in everything, from building habits to focusing. Make sure you're taking the time to call out those distractions. Number 3, remind yourself of your laser focuses from the week. All you're going to do now is go back to those actionable intentions that you created for yourself and remind yourself what to do during a game. Again, if I'm a striker and I'm going in there to finish around the net, all I'm going in thinking is getting to the 18-yard box, shooting in the corner to score. That's it. I'm gonna do it over and over and over again. I'm playing a game within the game, and that's what the best in the world do. They're not worried about the other stuff. They play their game within the game by constantly going back to their focuses. If they miss it for 1 rep, they don't care. They go and do it again. And if they get it done, they don't care. They go and do it again. That's how you become either the most notorious goal scorer in the league or how you break a slump. Both of them work. Number 4, visualize yourself being successful 10 times in the upcoming game. All you're going to do here is see yourself performing the way you want 10 times with intensity and emotion. You can do the same mental reps, but all it is making sure you're seeing yourself be successful. This is gonna get you nice and focused. Number 5, take the pressure off yourself by realizing so long as you stick to your laser focuses, you will get rewarded. I've said this time and time again, from our podcast to our YouTube episodes. Sports is a game of reward, meaning if you do the right things, the right actionable steps, and you do the right prep work throughout the week, you're gonna be fine coming into game days. All you need to focus on are those actionable things that get you rewarded in performances. And finally, number 6, go play and take it one rep at a time. All you need to do in performances is keep coming back to those actionable intentions. I can't stress that enough. If you've done all the work throughout the week, right? You've done the visualizing, you've done the film work, you've done the physical prep, all that. You're gonna feel confident now coming into games. Now that you feel confident and sure of yourself, all you need to do is keep going back to those focuses. You can fall back on your prep. I'm telling you, this is the thing that all of our players do. Our pro athletes, they constantly come back to it. And I'll say this, don't worry about popping off right from the start. Realize that the best athletes in the world, they're patient, right? It's a slow burn. It happens throughout it. But as long as you keep coming back to those things that you know bring you success, you're gonna get rewarded for it. So a quick overview of this process before we conclude the video. Very simple, like you can see here on my screen. During the week, 2 to 4 days before a performance, you wanna make sure you put in all the prepare to let go checklist items, right? Great. Now on game days, all you wanna do is make sure that you're utilizing your game day checklist. Have those 6 things there, and all you need to do is follow these processes. If you can literally take screenshots of these, write these down, whatever it is, and just go through this on practice days, go through those prepare to let go 7 steps, and on game days, go through those 6, you're gonna be fine, because what you're doing is it's like a cycle, right? You're constantly building certainty, confidence, and coming into games, you're gonna trust yourself. That's how it works at the top level. All you need to do is take action on it. So if this video helped you in any way, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and share this video. It's gonna help this channel grow. And again, down below, we've got our Molliteum Insider that you should subscribe to. It's a free newsletter. You're gonna get multiple tips like this throughout the week. Also, make sure to check out our Difference Maker podcast linked below. We've got all our social pages linked below as well. And finally, if you wanna really take your game to the next level and potentially go into one of our courses, work with one of our coaches or whatever it might be, simply click the link below to apply to work with us. We'll make sure to answer within 24 hours and get you the right kind of guidance that you need to take your game to the next level. Stay resilient, and remember, every single one of us have a hidden difference maker. It's on you to make sure it comes out. So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the full podcast episode, click right here.